Hey guys, it's Bscat here. So today I am doing a concert review on the stadium tour, which featured Motley Crew, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett, and there was another opening band. I don't remember. They were a smaller act, but unfortunately I didn't get to see them. So this is a show that a lot of people have been talking about. It's been 2 years in the making. It Obviously, it couldn't happen for the past 2 years because of you know what. But it finally happened, and I'm going to tell you all about it. And yeah, so let's start. So the show started surprisingly early at 4 o'clock. And honestly, they kind of had to because there were so many acts, right? There was the opening act. I can't remember the name of them, but I know they have a show in Toronto tonight at a local pub. I think there's still tickets available, but I'm not too sure. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see them because we didn't even get inside until after 4 o'clock. Yes, we came a bit later, but I will get into details on that in a bit. So, a day earlier, Sunday, a day before the show, Live Nation sent us an email saying, "Hey, this is everything that you need to know. Doors are at 3:30. The show starts at 4." And I'm looking at this and I'm like, why are you opening doors to a show half an hour before when almost every other event that I go to, whether it be a concert or a sporting event, they open up the doors 2 hours before. And in fact, I go to a lot of Blue Jays games at the Rogers Center, which is where this concert was held, and they open the doors always for Jays games at least 2 hours before because you got to go through security, blah 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 blah. So I was really surprised that they opened the gates at 3:30 because that only gives people half an hour to get into the venue. And honestly, we missed the opening act and we got there at like 3:45. Just to put this into perspective for you, the lineups were stretching all the way down Bremner to almost the Metro Convention Center. It was crazy. I've never seen a lineup that bad, not even for a Jays game. And we went through gate 8 because we were in the 200 level TD club seating, which is supposed to be comfortable seating, but it really wasn't. It took us about 20 minutes to get in. And I really wanted to see the opening act because they seemed really good. I had YouTubed a few of their songs a few days before, and I do believe that they did a song or two with Vince Neil. I don't know if they did one with him on stage on the tour, because of course I didn't see them, but yeah. So let's talk about the experience about getting into the venue. Again, it was crazy. I don't know if they opened up gates late, but I don't know why they opened them up half an hour before. Maybe that was a tour manager call. I don't know if that was the venue. If it was a tour manager's call, it was extremely stupid because if you want people to see your full show, you need to open up doors 2 hours before. So if the concert started at 4, you should have opened up your doors at 2. I get it's very, very hard to bring in your staff early for the venue, but you really need to not open up doors 30 minutes before your show starts, because trust me, I've worked event security for years. I've never seen an event that's only open. I've never seen a major event only open up their doors 30 minutes before a show starts. I get a smaller concert, like at a bar, but this is a major venue show, and there were well over, I'd say, I don't even want to guess a number. Now, it wasn't a sellout crowd, but it was close. Obviously, they're probably not going to sell out. I do know Lady Gaga was there 2 days before, and I believe she sold out. Obviously, this is a rock concert. A lot of older people are going to this, but there were a lot of younger people, and I'm actually going to be getting into why that is later on in the video. There were a lot of people my age and also younger, but yeah, like it's Motley Crew. You got a lot of people in their 50s and 60s, like my dad who loved Motley Crew. But anyways, so let's go back to getting into the venue. We got through security, no problem. We scanned our tickets. We went upstairs. So the opening act had already played, but we didn't even know. So we went and we got our overpriced beer, like $13, and I got fucking wasted. I just want to let you know, because I had pre-drank at my house, and then we had gone to Three Brewers, and then I had an amber beer, and then I drank like 3 fucking coolers and like a double shot rum and coke at the show. I know I spent crazy amount of money, but hey, it's a Motley Crew show. You have to get fucked up. But I still had a good time. But yeah, so we sit down in the TD comfort seats, which if you're not a Blue Jay fan, that's like the VIP area. For the concert, we paid about $200. There is a bar inside, and also there's a wine bar. That's where I got my rum and coke. But for everything else, we went outside to the concourse. So during the intermissions between bands, we went out and walked the concourse. All I'm gonna say is, Rogers Center, you need to do your renovations faster than ever, because your venue is not meant to hold a concert-sized crowd. And also, the fucking acoustics in that venue sucked. I've seen a few shows there over the years, and it was very, very bad acoustics. I haven't seen a show there since before last night in maybe 10, 7, 8 years. I was told that apparently they had upgraded their sound system. Unfortunately, they didn't use the Rogers Center sound system. They used their own sound system from the tour, and the acoustics were fucking horrible. The echo was terrible. You couldn't hear what any of the artists were saying. Rogers Center, you need to upgrade your sound system, and as well, you need to get proper air conditioning. It was too fucking hot. I get you had to close the dome because of the sound. Also, they had called for rain, and as well on this show, there were pyrotechnics, and there were lasers that would shoot up into the roof of the Rogers Center. So if they had opened up the roof, that is a flight path for airplanes, and they couldn't have had the lasers going, because if they had shot up into the sky and it gets into an air pilot's eyes, you're going to have a crash. So that's why I get it, but you need proper air conditioning in Rogers Center. I do know they are planning to upgrade in a few years, but if you want to hold major stadium shows, you need to upgrade, because honestly, the concourse was extremely packed. The merchandise lines were ridiculous, but the key is, I went when Def Leppard's set was on, and there was nobody in line. So if you're new to concerts, if you ever want to go hit the merch line or the food line, go during one of the main band's set. There'll be no one in line. So let's get into the show itself. Joan Jett, who we saw. I've never seen Joan Jett before. I have seen Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crew. They all put on a great show. I will get into Motley Crue's set, because I have something that I do have to say. Joan Jett, she was pretty good. She looks the same from the 70s and 80s, but she's in her 60s. She played some of her new stuff. She was with the Blackhearts, although there was only one original member who looked like he was in his 80s and he was playing the keyboards. Everyone else was pretty much in their 30s and 20s. It looked like a newer band, but they sounded pretty good. Again, the acoustics were not that good. Oh, and as well, sorry, our view was right in front of the stage, and if you had seen any of my videos, if you went to my Facebook or my Instagram, Bscat, you can see that they had these giant cranes right in our way. We could still see, but they had these giant cranes, and it was kind of a pain in the ass, because we paid top money to sit there. Now, on these cranes, they had the little spotlights, so they could put it onto the artist. But again, they really sort of told us this when we bought the tickets on Ticketmaster, that we were going to have a little bit of an obstructed view, even though we were sitting right in front of the main stage. They did have 2 huge LED screens on the stage for every band. The show itself was great. They had lasers. They had like a 3D video show. It was awesome. So again, Joan Jett was good. Like seeing her. I had never seen her before. Poison, I've seen before. Again, they did an awesome show. They did all their hits, Then Def Leppard, who I think was the best band of the night, fucking killed it. My favorite song is I'm Fooling by them. It's off to the Pyromania album, one of my favorite albums. I really love the cover art. If you guys go online and you guys listen to that album entirely, really, really great album. Also, I do like Hysteria. Really, really great album as well, but I have to say my favorite album by them is Pyromania, and my favorite song is I'm Foolin'. I love the live version of their songs. So they're all in their 60s, but they sound fucking amazing. And they don't do tracks in the background. They just killed it. And, they're in their 60s, and they sound like pretty much that, like you're in the 80s. Although, yes, they can't hit those high notes how they used to. It's still pretty close. And there's times that I wish I had a time machine and I could go back in time and see these shows with my dad at fucking Exhibition Stadium in the 70s and 80s and see them in their prime. I wish they would make a time machine, but hey, we're not at that point yet. So yeah, Def Leppard killed it. They did about an hour and a half set. Same with Motley Crue. Now, as for Motley Crue, I'm going to have to talk about this. I've seen them 2 times. I saw them on their Saints of Los Angeles tour years ago and on their final tour, which back in 2015, which was supposed to be their final tour, but then they came back for this stadium tour. Their sound was really muffled. You could barely hear what they were saying, although Vince Neil, you can barely hear what he's saying. He sounded better than how he was the past few years, but it was just an extremely muffled sound. Also, the crowd wasn't really into Motley Crue. The crowd was more into Poison and Def Leppard, like they were up dancing and stuff. For Motley Crue, the crowd was mainly just sitting. But hey, again, their sound was extremely muffled. But they did do a great show. Now, into why they mainly have a younger fan base. So, a few years ago, they did a documentary called The Dirt, which featured Machine Gun Kelly. For those of you that don't know, he's I don't want to say he's a newer rapper, but he's more of a modern day rapper, and a lot of young people like him, and they do a song called The Dirt, and that's why a lot of younger people have now gotten into Motley Crue, because they've seen that and they think, hey, Machine Gun Kelly fucks with them, so they're pretty cool. They did do that song. Machine Gun Kelly wasn't there, but they had him on the Titantron to do his verses. I'm not his biggest supporter. I like 1 or 2 of his songs. I know he had just come here. Troublemaker had gone and seen him, but I'm not his biggest supporter. He's just not my kind of music. But yeah, so Motley Crue, they had the strippers on stage. They danced, the whole 9 yards. But I know they had been using drumming tracks for a few songs because, Tommy Lee can't really keep up. They did do the titty cam for Tommy Lee, but they didn't make it a big deal as they did at their previous shows, obviously with the whole Me Too movement. All in all, it was a great show. If I had to say who wasn't the best act of the night, it was probably Motley Crue, because, their sound was extremely toned down and muffled. It wasn't as good as Poison or Def Leppard. Best act of the night was, of course, Def Leppard. I always like their show. So again, the show in general, the stadium tour, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. But I really think but on the venue, I'd give about a 2 out of 10. Terrible sound system, just terrible in general. And also the seats for being high priced, not good for big people. I'm sorry, and very overpriced alcohol. I did get a shirt. It was about $60, of course, overpriced. It was a Hysteria shirt. I wanted to get a Pyromania shirt, but they didn't have it. Wah. But I am gonna look for a Pyromania shirt. All in all, I'd give this show, like I said, a 9 out of 10. I have a few more shows coming up. So next Tuesday at Budweiser, I'm seeing Loverboy, Styx, and REO Speedwagon. I've seen REO and Styx before, great bands. And then on August 21st, I'm seeing the Scorpions. It was supposed to be with Whitesnake for their final tour, but I just found out Whitesnake can't make it because Dave Van Coverdale is having surgery, so unfortunately can't see him. I've already seen Whitesnake and I've seen the Scorpions a few times, but hey, it's going to be a great show either way. So look for some more concert reviews coming up. I'm also seeing this Friday at Rockpile Atomic Tomb, which is a local rock band. I've seen them before. They're a few of my dad's friends. And then on Labor Day weekend, I'm seeing a Motley Crew tribute band at the Linsmore. My dad knows the lead singer to that band. So I have so much coming up in the concert review section. Comment down below. Were you at the stadium tour? If you were, what did you think of it? Also, what is your favorite rock album? For me, it's Pyromania. I already said that. At least one of them, sorry. I also like a few others. I like a few other bands. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Peace.